Hi boys and girls. In this video, I am going to be working with you on your Contractions with Not page. So remember, we learned about contractions before we went on our break from school. And a contraction is when we take two words and we squish them together to make a word that means the same thing, but it's a little bit shorter. For example, if I were to say, I cannot go outside today, I could squish can and not together and make the word can't. And I told you that a lot of times we use contractions when we're talking, but we don't always know how to write them. So we're going to practice that a little bit today. So all of the contractions on this page are going to use the word not. So I'm going to write not up here at the top of the screen, just as a reminder that all of these contractions will have this word not. Now, when we make a contraction for not, we're going to remove this O and put an apostrophe in its place. So let's look at the first one. Number 1 says, Zach is not in class. So for number 1, we're looking at the words is and not. So if I take what I know about contractions and I take these words is and not and push them together to make one word, but take out this O and put an apostrophe in its place, I end up with ISN apostrophe T, the word isn't. Now, remember, an apostrophe goes up at the top of the word, above the letters. If you were writing an apostrophe on one of our dotted lines, like what we use in our journals and sometimes in our writing in the classroom, you would write the word with lowercase letters, but your apostrophe would go up here in the top, okay? It doesn't go down here at the bottom. That's what we call a comma. And we've worked with commas before, especially when writing dates or lists or things like that. And you also want to make sure that you're not making it too big like this. I've seen some of you do that with your apostrophes. This is actually a parenthesis. So make sure that when you're writing a comma, it stays up here, just in the top part of the line. Okay, so number 1, is not becomes isn't. So if we look here on our worksheet, we have Zach is not in class. And now we're going to look and try to find the contraction isn't. And I see it right here. So you can take your pencil or pen or crayon or whatever it is you're using to do this assignment and draw a line from number 1 over to the contraction isn't. All right, let's take a look at number 2. We'll move this up here. Number 2 says, he was not happy. So I'm looking at the words was and not. So let's think about what I know. I'm going to push these two words together. I'm going to take out this O and write the word he was not happy becomes he wasn't happy, wasn't. So now I look on my sheet here, find, oh, there it is, wasn't. So you'll draw a line to connect sentence number 2 to the word wasn't. Now looking at number 3. For number 3, we have the words can and not. Now I want you to pay attention to the fact that in the words can and not, can ends with an N and not begins with an N. So when we push these two words together to get our contraction, we don't need to write both of those N's. So for this word, because we're combining the two N's, we're going to take out the N and the O. So cannot becomes C-A-N apostrophe T, can't. We don't need two N's in the word can't. So if we look here, find the word can't, there it is. So from number 3, we'll draw a line down to the word can't. And I'm going to stop there because I think now you've got a pretty good idea of how to take your two words, push them together, put that apostrophe in where the O would go, and come up with your contraction. So when you are finished connecting all of your sentences to your contractions, I want you to take a picture of this page and upload it to me on Class Dojo. Now don't forget, up here where it says name, you need to put your name on the line so that I can see whose paper it is when I look at your upload. Make sure your name begins with an uppercase letter and the rest of your letters should be lowercase. And if you have any questions about contractions with not, you can send me a video message on Dojo, you can send me a typed message on Dojo, or you could have your parents message me through the messaging app on Dojo. Okay, I hope you have a fun time with this and I look forward to seeing your papers. Bye!